welcome to yet another episode with Milestone. Today we have a very special guest. Omar, we're so happy to have you with us today, talking about your own milestones professionally and personally. I'm a big fan, honestly. Who is Omar Al-Busaidi?
The way I like to describe myself, or how I see myself from everything that I've done, is I believe that Omar Busaidi was brought to this world to serve the people. So I always have this servant leadership approach when I meet anybody, and I always feel like everybody has a situation, an opportunity, a problem, and they need answers, and for some reason I happen to know the answer to that thing. I don't know how. Maybe I will know a person, or I'll have that piece of knowledge or information, and then this is how my conversation always flourishes with people, and they could come from whatever background.
Omar, I want to go back a little bit to your background. So tell us a little bit about who are you in terms of your ethnicity, your nationality, and you're like a global citizen if you want. But give us a little bit of who is Omar.
Mariam, I love your introduction about me. I think you know more about me than my own mother. So,
and I love your mom.
I'm Emirati, but originally my parents actually, they were born in Zanzibar, but they're originally from Oman. So I can speak Arabic, English, Swahili, and French because I went to school, and in private school I had to learn French all my life. So 10 years. So I can speak 4 languages, which is really cool. And I have like this Afro-Arab, which is the best combination when you have that Afro-Arab situation going on, because we got Afros got like swag, and so you know what I mean. Just like you, Maria, you got swag, and I know you get that from being in the African continent. I was studying from a young age, and working from a young age. So by the time I graduated from high school, I was already working and studying when I was in university. So I went to AUD, the American University in Dubai. But I went there, and again, I didn't have enough money because school's very expensive, to go out with friends and stuff. So my mom was like, she only used to give me like 500 dirhams a month. I'm like, Ma, it's a joke, I'm in university. She's like, you want more, go work. I was like, oh my God, again. So I had to take a full-time job. I worked at the bank. I used to work from 8 to 4 and used to go to university from 5 to 10 p.m. I did that for 6.5 years. It took me 6.5 years to graduate with a degree in marketing, because I was working and studying full time. And I feel I'm ready for retirement. Like, khalas, I worked enough. I have 17 years experience. Khalas. I'm like, oh my God, people work this long? It's too long, So obviously in between all that, one of the biggest milestones, so I can use my milestone.
Yes.
That was a milestone, of course, but the second milestone was having, you mentioned it earlier, was setting up businesses on the side. Because this was my mom's brother, my uncle Isa, who used to always encourage me to have more than one source of income, one source of revenue. So he told me, you can't just depend on your salary. I was like, oh my God. So I started my first business. It failed in 6 months. I had an advertising agency. I didn't have enough cash flow to pay my salaries, and then I had to ask my mom to bail me out. And then I had another company selling women's dresses, wedding gowns. That one also failed because of the location. Then I had a consultancy company. My partner stole the money. I had some thief partner who took my money.
Wow.
Where she is.
Wow.
Yeah, and yeah. So those things I feel, but thankfully now I do have my own business. I have a company, an events agency. It's based in Dubai and Saudi Arabia, or the UAE and Saudi Arabia, and we're doing really well. And alhamdulillah, it's been good, And I obviously worked in different sectors, from banking to government to the British Embassy, tourism, media. I was radio host, as you mentioned, and now I'm here in the States.
Do you think universities, the way they are now, will continue in the next 5 years? I mean, come on, you just said it. 13 years. My kids go to IB school, so 13 years, then 4 years, if you're lucky. How do you see that?
what I realized, especially now being a student right now, again, being a student again, doing my master's here. I don't know if I mentioned, but I'm doing my master's in international affairs and intelligence at Florida State University. So I realized that what I actually learned within only my one semester is enough than me staying here for 2 years. Because it is completely, a lot of topics today, Mariam, a lot of topics, a lot of sectors, a lot of things, a lot of them have all been combined, they're all intertwined. I've been writing my papers like for one class, I'm almost repeating the same one for my other 3 classes in one semester. It doesn't make sense. And everything today is integrated, highly integrated. That's why it doesn't make sense to be in school for so long. It's not like before where everything used to be kind of like in silos, in its own confinement. Today, everything is collected because the one biggest underlying connector of everything is technology. So when you talk about diplomacy, there's a huge factor of technology that's integrated in diplomacy. When you talk about security, everything security today is technology. Whether you're talking about arms or cybersecurity and everything else. So everything today has one underlying factor. If you talk about math or science or history, again, everything is technology based, and it's kind of like, and technology integrates all the different subjects together. So that's why it doesn't make sense to be in school for that long, whether you're doing IB or any other curriculum, or when you're in university. So it's definitely something that a lot of people are talking about. And it also shows, because of this pandemic, the fact that my classes, by the way, I'm in New York, I'm not in Florida because I'm going to do all my classes online. It doesn't make sense to actually be in a classroom. What I'm doing online, the amount of time I'm saving with traveling and this and accommodation and whatever, it makes no sense to be in a classroom anymore. The value of what I used to get from interaction like that, I don't really need to do that, because I can still have the interaction anywhere else that I'm located.
Omar, honestly, you have so many milestones. I know that you sent me 5, but then we have the summer jobs, and then you starting your own business and failing and starting and failing and starting and failing. And by the way, guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, this is life. You start, you fail, you pick up yourself, and you start again and again and again. Then you got the scholarship, but tell us more about what's the 3rd milestone. I know you have a book to talk about.
No, yeah. So this is the one. Just read it. This was a massive milestone, and I'll tell you why. Because one of the things that I did mention to you before in my milestone is, yes, I was, okay, so I failed in business and whatever, but a lot of people don't know, and some people have this assumption that when you're from the UAE, like you're untouchable, like you're a prophet or something, like I don't know what they think. But the truth is, you're not, and we're not. And what I mean is that I got fired twice. 2 different government organizations. Actually, no, one was a private organization and one was a government organization. So, and actually demoted once. I don't know if I mentioned the demotion.
Can you share with us a couple, or just one reason at least? I'm just so curious.
I was in a job in a private company. It was a recruitment company in Dubai Media City. And I hated my boss. Like, I hated her. She was so rude. She was so mean. And I wrote a very nasty email to a friend of mine saying that I hate my boss. She is the biggest. And then next thing you know, what happens is when you use a work server, any words, explicit words that you type triggers the IT department, because they think that you're searching for things you're not supposed to do at work.
Just read it, guys. So tell us, where can we find this book?
This book is available on Amazon and Kinokuniya. The easiest way is just go through Amazon. It's very easy to read because it's like super colorful and fun and like easy to read.
Can you open a random page and give me the title? Just the title, the headline.
Wait. Okay, a random page with a title, right?
Yeah. Read it. Assumption is the mother of all screw-ups. Go ahead.
There you go.
You
So
know, this is, I actually love that random page because I always tell people, and especially my team or my kids, just don't assume. Can you ask? If you're in doubt, ask. Don't act. Ask.
Exactly. Yes. And I wrote this. I wrote this book. So getting fired, as I mentioned to you before, is a milestone because it helped to create another milestone. Because when I was fired, that year, 2011 was a terrible year. I got fired from the job, and I was actually once married, and I got divorced.
We have our pitch of the day, a 90 seconds pitch. Hello, Nadine.
Hello, everyone. Miss you, Mariam. Our project is Edo Hope. It's talk about sharing knowledge, taking the responsibility of giving awareness in multiple countries: Jordan, Palestine, Gaza, Egypt, and Morocco, and Yemen, which we reach these countries before because of Embassy Al-Amal ambassadors. Thank you, Mariam, for that. We reached that for we want to cross borders, talking about how we can connect more and sharing knowledge. So we're starting to take the responsibility of making an offline and online event. We already did in Gaza 2 or 3, and in Egypt 2, and in Morocco. The event was about the SDGs, awareness about them, how we can be a change maker in our communities. It was the target audience was for youth, and also we did for children's too in Gaza, one of them. We believe that we can reach to NGOs, and we do a cooperation between them in our next step, inshallah, talking more about how to build or how to make the change maker in the youth campaign.
Okay. I'm a very strong and big advocate for the SDGs, and I think it's very important that that these goals are communicated not at the government level but from the grassroots level, and it has to start from the youth, especially because they are the true change makers, more than politicians that we know, especially sadly with what's happening in the region. I understand you mentioned that you did the events in Gaza, in Egypt, and Morocco, but my only question is, so if these are going to be events that you organize, obviously there's money involved, and you're going to need to invest to whether you're going to have materials or the location or whatever. So is everything that you do just going to be through partnerships, or what are your ideas around getting funding for all the different projects that you have?
Because of the goal 17, which it's about partnership for the goals. We did do a sponsorship and reaching out to NGOs for that. We are looking for, in order to Peace First Foundation organization. It gives fund for $25 for any project between anyone who's applying for it from 13 to 25 years old. We are studying the ability in order in the 25, let me say it, how to split it out between countries.
Yeah.
Because the money, it will the commission, it will go.
Yeah, of course.
If I receive it here in Jordan, then I give it to Gaza, and the money has been.
But also, Nadine, what's really important is I think a lot of organizations will ask you, how do you measure the impact of your programs?
The impact actually in Gaza, in offline events, let's say, we measure it by the audience, how they react and their feedback, and how they want to be more involved in the SDGs. When they ask what we can do, then we can say we build an impact here. And in the online, we can say like by the likes and the number of likes and the number of shares that we get into every post that we posted.
Thank you, Nadine. Have a great day.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us. We actually have very smart, very peaceful, very productive talent and young people that just need a chance. And we need to give them that chance. And through Milestone program, we will give them that chance, inshallah, with people like you and many other guests. I just want to tell you, young people of today, every job is a decent job. If you're earning a decent living, respect, whether you're picking up the garbage or helping kids play football during summer camp or selling lemonade around the corner, every job is a decent job. So don't look down upon those jobs.
No job is beneath anyone. Yeah,
absolutely. If you could live your life again, knowing what you know now, what would you change?
Oh, I'd probably be an astronaut. What would I change?
Go on, hope.
Hope mission, yeah. What would I have changed? I think I would have changed making impulsive decisions. I would have been more focused, because one of the things I liked and not reacting quickly, I would have been a much more avid reader as a young person than I am right now, because I love this one quote. It says by Anne Leibovitz, and she said, before you speak, think. Before you think, read. So if I knew what I knew before, I would have been a much more avid reader, and it would help me to formulate my responses better as a younger person.
What advice would you give to all youth who have graduated recently, and especially the ones that graduated in COVID-19 times?
Do you know where the word education comes from? So education, it comes from a Latin word called educo. And educo means to develop from within. That's actually what education really is. So it's one thing getting the knowledge bestowed upon you when you're in schools and universities, but it's another thing when you self-develop from within, because that's where it really comes in from yourself. And you have to take the initiative, as you said yourself, Mariam, that you go and learn these different skills. You can take a course on digital literacy, financial literacy. All of these are the things right now that matter a lot. So if you're a young person who just graduated, you need to take these courses, study the trends of the markets that are very, very important. Because today, education, food, healthcare, technology, these are the sectors that are the most important, not for now, for the next 10, 15, 20 years from now. They will be the ones that will always be standing out there. So focus on these trends that are on the sectors that are making the trends right now, and see how can you contribute to this. That's what my advice would be to you, and take the advantage of the markets.
Awesome. What are your plans, Omar, in the near future?
Well, once I graduate, I'm kind of considering doing my doctorate. It's there. It's really tempting for me right now, but also I always make plans, but God has better plans. So I'm kind of just trying to figure out what I want to do. I mean, I have my business, it's going on, it's working, but I'm still figuring it out, believe it or not.
Okay, Habibi, thank you so much for being with us. It was such an enjoyable episode. Seriously, it's one of the best, I can tell you for a fact.
Thank you.